Today on All Star Fandom, I'm joined by actor and voice actor Kyle Derek McDonald. He's worked on major projects and independent projects along with doing ads, and he's currently the voice of Drago on the animated show Bakugan, streaming on Netflix, and now also the voice of Batman on the fan animated series Batman Just Immortal.
Not so fast. Let them go, and maybe I'll take it easy on you.
So, we got a few questions that we want to ask him about his newest project. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. All Star Fandom starts now. So, Kyle, thanks for joining us today here on All Star Fandom. Just a few questions, especially about your new project that you're working on or that you have worked on, Batman Just Immortal. So, just a few questions about that. So, how were you casted for the role of Batman in this fan series? How did that project sort of come to through your email?
Okay, so I've been doing voiceover for a while, and there's been a few rogue comments over time from directors and other people. They're like, "You should be Batman." And I was like, well, yeah, but it's Kevin Conroy, and Will Arnett. And there's like a host of other great dudes, and like everyone's great, right? Like they're just
It's
all
wild that
awesome.
you said Will Arnett. I
Right, but
forgot
like,
about Lego
yeah,
Batman.
but there's like all these different kinds, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll take it. And then, alas, Conroy passed away.
Hmm.
And I was like, why not? Just to have some fun, right? Because I like doing cartoons. And so I just started doing scenes from the animated series and from the video game, and I just would overdub it. So I would play all the roles and redub
Gotcha.
it and remix it, remaster it. So just make these little excerpts like, make me Batman,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, okay, let's see where this goes. It's fun. And so I just started, I just tagged people. I just tagged people. So I tagged Sam at the animated series
Hmm.
underscore on Instagram. I probably tagged him like 4 or 5 times. And then he just finally pinged me. He's like, hey man, you want to be my Batman? I'm like, yes, I do. And that was that. So I've been doing it
Yeah.
with him ever since, and I love it.
Perfect. Yeah, because just I'm sure the listeners at home or the watchers at home are listening to that voice and was like, that's pretty unique behind that cowl of Batman. So
Thank you.
that leads me
Thank you.
to my next question. Really, it's just a comment from director. You alluded to him earlier, Samuel Rivera. He
Hmm.
says, as a diehard Batman animated series fan, out of respect, one of my favorite things is that Kyle's Batman doesn't sound like Kevin Conroy's Batman. That's one of the reasons I reached out because Kyle's Batman voice was so perfect yet so original. It's not a copy of Kevin Conroy's voice. It's actually its own. What were your thoughts on what Samuel had to say about your Batman for the series?
Well, those are the type of comments that make you blush because it's pretty high praise, right? In the like that it's distinctive from Conroy, who's so iconic, but it holds its own. It's honestly the
Hmm.
highest praise. Like you learn a lot of guys who want to learn voice. I shouldn't say guys. A lot of people who want to learn voice, right? They start by impressions, which is great.
Yeah.
But when you get to booking, no one wants impressions anymore. They want you. So if I'm able to put a stamp on Batman that's really my own and
Mhm.
not in the realm of impression, that's again like that's pretty high praise. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I
Thank
mean
you.
yeah, that's straight from our director Samuel Rivera. So
That's too kind.
so with Batman Just Immortal, which episode or moment is your favorite from the series so far?
So there's actually one coming up that we haven't done yet, so I can't talk about it. But number two is I believe it's with Waller when she's passed away and he speaks over her grave. That's who it is, right?
Yeah.
Waller? Yeah. And so, like, those moments, because like Batman has a lot of action, but the thing about this particular series, it's like this great combination of, Batman reviewing his life. And
Mm.
so it's like the maturity of a man who's, aging and in some cases rapidly aging. And then it's like just this back and forth. And so it's really the it's like the dramatic part, right? There's so much heartbreak in Batman. There's a lot of heartbreak in the world. You don't want to, you don't want to navel gaze all the time. But and Sam's writing is actually it's really good, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that really struck me too. He writes he writes exactly how it ought to be. Like, he does honor to all the characters, he does honor to all the storylines,
Hmm.
and every word put in everybody's mouth belongs there. So I was actually very impressed by that. And so that particular scene, I think, was my favorite.
Well,
That was the moment.
this is sort of like a on here on All Star Fandom, we take these little side missions, is what I call them. So it's a follow-up question to that, or
Mm.
follow-up just ask for that. What's your favorite Batman line from this series? And can you give us sort of a little taste of that Batman voice if there's a line that jumps out at you?
Yeah, let me. I actually have the scripts pulled up here because it like the beautiful
Oh,
thing
go
about
ahead.
doing voiceover is like I don't have to memorize anything.
Yeah,
I'm so
correct.
spoiled, man. Like, like when I have to memorize something, I'm like super resentful now. I'm like, what? And then, but the downside of that is like just leaves your head as soon as you speak it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, look, honestly, it's always just saying Joker, right?
Oh,
That's
that's so good. That's
right,
really
Joker. That's it. It's always that. It's like it's just so much history there. He's like, oh, Joker.
This is bigger than me and you. The Joker's back. He's hit a quarter of the city with laughing gas and recruited more members to the Jokers. He's threatening to blow up the police station in the next 12 hours. He has to be stopped.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
that's the
good.
one.
Thank you. Thanks for that. So being that this fan series is a continuation of Batman, the animated series, and Batman
Mhm.
Beyond, were you ever a fan of either show or just like a Batman fan in general?
Yes, so yes to all of the above. I watched them when I was coming up. I'm trying to remember when it might have been the '89 Michael Keaton Batman, where I was like, wow, it might have
Yeah.
been. It's interesting. Like, my tastes, I went into this crazy thing where I like got into Greek myth and like Roman and medieval history big time. So for a while, like those were the characters. But in like
Mhm.
in the world of superheroes, like Batman's always been like I've always played the games.
Yeah.
I've always watched the movies, like I watch the shows, like I love the backstory, I love the character. And it's just funny, I never really saw myself in that place, but after people were like, well, you should do Batman, I was like, really? Oh, okay. So I have actually been a lifelong fan.
Hmm.
You know, I'm pretty well acquainted with the universe. Now, again, I'm not like a super fan, so there are like the details of the animated series, like I don't remember them all. Like it's been a while since I've watched a
Yeah.
lot of them.
This came out in 92. 92.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I was alive then. Ooh.
Hmm.
But you know, it's like it's so I find personally there's so many things where I remember now it's like a feeling or a sense. And like there's always standout scenes, but the show was so I just remember it was so excellent. It was one of the best shows. And
Yeah.
most of the iterations of like they're just so good. And that's another reason I'd love to do it. It's just like they're so good.
Yeah,
It's
they're DC animation from like 92 to early 2000s or almost before the 2010s or so, wherever Justice
yeah.
League Unlimited landed was just like peak DC
Yeah.
animation right there. You still had Kevin Conroy as the voice of Batman and what George Newbern as Superman, Tim Daly started. Like it was just a yeah, it was great. What a time, right?
Yeah, right.
What a
So
time.
when did you start getting into it? Like when did it awaken you?
Very yeah, very similar to a lot of stories like Batman 89. Like
Mm,
I was showing my age. I was born in 87. So I
okay.
didn't go see it in theaters, but I
Well,
remember
I hope not.
having I remember having it on VHS tape and just watching it all the time. Like Michael Keaton was like my obviously our Batman, right? Or
Mm,
my Batman at the time. But then as I got older, well, as older as I could get after 87, the
mm.
series came around. And I don't think, looking back at it, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be watching this as a kid or shouldn't have been watching that as a kid because they were really, really strong stories, you know?
Yeah, they didn't pull any
Very,
punches.
oh no, he punches everyone, honestly.
Well,
So,
yes, yeah, yeah.
but I just remember that and then fall in love with that series and Kevin Conroy. So the Batman that I have in my mind is that Batman, like the core foundation of what Batman or who Batman is, started there with the no guns, the doing everything the right way, like just that discipline was there. And luckily, a few years ago, I got to meet Kevin Conroy at a
Wow,
comic book convention. Super nice guy. He
wow.
was like, "Hey, you want to take a picture?" Absolutely,
Like,
I want to take a
please.
picture. And he signed that Batman picture for me there,
Wow.
with like I am Batman and with my name. It was really good, really cool to meet him. But um, for me, it was like the animated series and '89 and Batman Returns. So, I mean, most iconic probably superhero that we have, like that lives, like, well, that lives today, I suppose you could say. But
Mm,
that's how yeah, and I've been a fan ever since.
amazing. Yeah, there's something about, because you're right, the suit is kind of like the movies, right? In a
Yeah.
way, because it's like the actor's the Bruce Wayne,
Hmm.
but like the voice, it's Conroy. It's just been like forever, right?
Yeah, like
It's
for
like that's the
25,
guy.
30 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
in a way,
even
like,
with, oh, go ahead.
no, please, please.
I don't know. I was like, with even like a question I have for you, it was another side mission one with you
Mm.
sort of, I mean, being one of the voices to voice Batman or to take over
That's the
that
ambition. Help
cowl.
me
Yeah,
out.
you know, right? To
Help me
take
out.
over. I didn't want to throw that out there just to do it, but make him
Subscribe and
Batman.
like.
Make him
make me
Batman.
make me
Make
Batman.
There it is. But even with that, there's been a lot of voices between Kevin Conroy to his passing last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I will admit, like there's times where you look at content and you're like, or you look at the credits, like who's voicing Batman? Like it's not Kevin, but they're still good, right?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those roles or one of those characters where, you know, like, especially like you said, Batman is the character, Bruce Wayne's the mask, you know.
Yeah.
And so how does your Bruce Wayne voice differ from your Batman voice? Because Kevin
Mm.
Conroy was sort of able to sort of the first few seasons he was able to sort of balance the difference between
Mm.
them. But I was wondering, do you have any sort of technique or thoughts on separating those voices?
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting you say that because at a certain point, like Conroy's Bruce Wayne and Batman are just kind of like indecipherable in a way, right?
Yeah, those earlier seasons definitely, but then
Which
they
is
sort of
like
melded together.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like he's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's in a way like he just started living it. And to be honest, like I actually like that. So I have an episode coming up where I'm more Bruce than Batman.
Hmm.
And so Bruce Wayne is like, he's a little higher. He's going to be a little higher in the thing. It's going to be a little more musical. Uh, he'll sound probably, I guess, depending on the scene, either more positive or less sure of himself. So those
Gotcha.
would be my little tweaks, right? Because
Hmm.
like he sort of has to navigate that. But like Bruce Wayne's a confident guy. If I were to really like run it, Bruce Wayne would pretty like really extroverted, and he'd be like a party animal kind of thing, right? But
Got to play
that's
up the
the
role.
mask. Yeah,
Hmm.
but that's the mask, right? So I'd keep him more positive, a little more, even a little more cheeky, right? A little more like,
Yeah.
but it depends on the writing that comes down, of course. So that'll be the plan. It's Batman will be here and Bruce Wayne will be here,
Yeah.
right?
Gotcha.
That's going to be the
Hmm.
difference. And he's a little more musical. It's like I don't know, and then Batman's like Joker.
Very
So I
different.
think
Yeah.
that'll be the difference.
To
And
the
I guess
point.
we'll see how people take that. So
Oh, I
I'm
think,
sure there'll be further refinements.
yeah, but so far so good. I've enjoyed the voice. I'm like just this interaction now. I'm digging the voice.
Thank you, very kind. I appreciate
So,
that.
yeah, so Kyle, just final question. Just do you have any new projects releasing or any future episodes from series featuring you? And also just go ahead and like plug where fans can find you and why we can finally make you Batman. So
Yeah, baby. Okay, great. So yes, the work with the director Samuel is ongoing. So there'll be some new releases. He controls that, but I have a feeling the new year is going to have a few more episodes featuring a little bit more of the Joker. So that should be fun. I hope I didn't steal his thunder there, but I'm sure he'll be okay with that.
it's
So
fine.
that's
Yeah.
ongoing. I'm thrilled about doing that. I'll be continuing my own little dubbing, so I like do like some Thundercats and Transformers, and maybe I'll
Okay.
do some GI Joe. So like that's all on my Instagram and my YouTube. So I post those. It's like little minute long clips of me redubbing scenes, right? So that's a lot of fun. So the big project, aside from Make Me Batman, is I'm also, strangely enough, I'm an award-winning poet, and over COVID, I wrote a novel-length epic poem of a story I've been trying to write since I was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like Lord of the Rings territory. The first version was almost a total ripoff of Lord of the Rings. It was awful.
Okay.
It was awful. But now it's something quite else, right? So
Gotcha.
it's all in poetry. It all rhymes. It all has meters. But it's not like indulgent like my Fifi's poetry. If you think about something like Beowulf or the Iliad and Shakespeare, it's more in that vein. So it's like linguistically challenging, but it's very rewarding, and it's very, as they say, thick concepts
Mm-hmm.
of like what is honor, what is duty, what is love, like the natures of power, all that sort of stuff, set in like this fantasy landscape. So it's called The Blessed, and it's all on my website. So if you want
Okay.
to, any of the stuff I get up to, it's KyleDerek.com, and all my links are there. In terms of making me Batman, you can go to my YouTube, which is at the Kyle Derek, and just like the hell out of those videos and share them with your friends. I'm also on TikTok as at the Kyle Derek, and it's exclusively just the animation stuff I do there. And then like my personal Instagram is at Kyle Derek McDonald, and I post that stuff there and some other show stuff. So that's a great place to interact with me, is on Instagram or comments on YouTube. So that's where you can find me. So KyleDerek.com/linktree. If you forget all that other stuff, all my stuff is there.
Well, and yeah, and I'll make sure to have it in the description of this video too, with links that'll take everybody to find you. But yeah, Kyle, thanks for joining us today and to talk about this project, this fan series Batman Just Immortal. Any closing real quick? You
Mm,
said Thundercats, Lion-O.
yes. Oh yeah.
No,
I got
that's
one
so
up there.
good.
Okay, let's see
Yeah,
if we can do it.
yeah. That might be
Hold on.
another. That's
See if I can remember some lines here, because I read. Remember, I forget everything though. It's
yeah.
like, no, Jago, I have to do it with honor. I have to do it by myself, or the Thundercats will never forgive me.
Kyle, you should be like, that's so good. That's so
Wait till you hear
good.
my snarf.
Oh,
Snarf, snarf.
oh, that's gonna be an interview for another day, Kyle. I am going
I'm
to.
I'm into it.
Oh, that's so good because I'm a big Thundercat fan. I was. My brother loved it. My older brother, so
Yeah,
he sort of passed it on to me, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it. So yeah, sorry, it's a Batman
Not at
interview, but
all.
that Lion-O was very good.
Thank you. And they've had a
So-
devil of a time trying to relaunch that. As I understand, there's been a few attempts to
really,
revitalize it. Yeah, and it
because
just
they
doesn't go anywhere.
yeah, because they tried with a show another cartoon a few
Yeah,
years ago that I thought was pretty cool, but I don't think it sold the toys that it was supposed to sell or do
yeah,
some other
interesting.
numbers here. But hopefully we can
Yeah.
get it and maybe make you Batman and
And
Lion-O.
oh man,
That's
I'm
so
in.
good.
I'm
That's
in.
so good.
I'm in. I'm at your
Well,
mercy.
well, again, Kyle, thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it. And this has been another episode of All Star Fandom. Be sure to do all the social media stuff,
Yep. Like, subscribe, and
comment,
share.
subscribe, share, all of that.
Hmm.
And again, we're gonna make Kyle Batman. We're gonna make him Lion-O. Trust me.
All right.
But
We'll all have a
again,
party together. It'll be great.
perfect. So until next time, peace. To watch the fan animated series Batman Just Immortal, head over to youtube.com/@BatmanJustImmortal. And be sure to follow the #1 Batman the Animated Series fan page on Instagram @BatmantheAnimatedSeries_.